Be still for a moment. You were not scrolling by accident. You were sent here because heaven has been whispering your name. And this message is the echo of that call. Somewhere deep inside, your spirit has been reaching out for peace, for answers, for a sign that the waiting wasn't wasted. And this is that sign. So pause. Let the noise fall away. Take one deep breath. In through the heart, out through the fear. Now listen, not just with your ears, but with your soul. Because the next words you hear are not meant to inform you. They are meant to transform you. You see, there is a moment in every believer's life when heaven leans close and says, prepare yourself. It's about to happen. And that moment rarely arrives with thunder or applause. It comes softly, like a whisper on the wind, like a candle flickering in the dark corners of a tired heart. You don't always see it at first. You just start feeling different. Something inside you begins to shift. You start craving stillness more than noise, faith more than control, purpose more than comfort. That's how you know. God's favor is drawing near. There's a reason your journey took the turns it did. There's a reason doors closed when they did. Why people left, why plans unraveled, why prayers seemed unanswered. It wasn't punishment, it was positioning. Because God never wastes pain, and He never misses timing. What looked like delay was divine rearrangement. What felt like loss was preparation for increase. You see, favor can't overflow into a heart that's still holding on to what was never meant to stay. Sometimes God empties your hands so He can fill them with something far greater. So if you felt stripped, stretched, or shaken, you're not being broken down, you're being built up. Because what's coming will require space, and God is making room. Tonight, you're being invited to rest in something ancient and eternal, a promise hidden in the rhythm of a psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Simple words, but words within them. When you whisper those words before sleep, something divine begins to unfold in your unseen world. Because those words are not merely poetry, they are architecture. They rebuild what worry has dismantled. They anchor your mind when storms try to drift it away. In the stillness of night, when your thoughts would normally spiral, those words gently redirect them home. And as your mind rests in those words, your subconscious, that quiet chamber where your true beliefs live, begins to listen. It starts to agree with heaven. It starts to remember who you are. And slowly, beautifully, without effort, you begin to align with divine abundance. Faith is not always loud. Sometimes it's as quiet as closing your eyes and saying, I shall not want. Not because everything is perfect, but because you've decided to trust the one who is. That's when miracles begin. Not when everything looks possible, but when you stop demanding proof and start walking with peace. God never promised you a life without storms. He promised you calm within them. And this psalm, this sacred whisper, is your calm. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing on a hill beneath a vast star-filled sky. The world is asleep, but you are awake, aware, breathing in the silence. You can feel the cool wind brush against your skin. You can hear the distant hum of the earth resting. And somewhere in that stillness, you sense a presence beside you. Gentle, wholly near. He says nothing at first. He just stands there. And yet somehow, your heart knows exactly who it is. You don't need to see His face to feel His peace. You don't need to hear His voice to know His love. Because His presence says everything words cannot. And as you stand there, you hear it again. Softly, from deep within. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And in that instant, something loosens inside you. The anxiety that's been holding your chest tight for weeks releases. The fear that's been clouding your decisions clears. You realize you were never walking alone. That's the power of divine favor. It doesn't always show up as money, or opportunity, or applause. Sometimes it shows up as peace. The kind of peace that lets you rest before the outcome, laugh before the breakthrough, and worship before the evidence. Because when you carry peace, you carry proof that heaven is already working. And when heaven is working, nothing can remain the same. There's a pattern to God's overflow. It starts small, a whisper, a nudge, a steering. Then it begins to expand, You start seeing grace in unexpected places. A random act of kindness, a timely message, a door reopening you forgot existed. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. It's heaven saying, keep going. You're aligned. And as you keep trusting, the flow increases. What once felt distant begins to draw near. What once seemed impossible begins to unfold naturally. Favor has a way of multiplying quietly. By the time it becomes visible to others, it's already been growing inside you for months. Every night that you end with faith rather than fear, you are watering the soil of your destiny. Every time you say, I shall not want, you are declaring that lack has lost its voice in your life. You are teaching your mind to rest in sufficiency. You are reminding your soul that provision doesn't depend on circumstance. It flows from covenant. God's favor doesn't visit, it abides. But for it to overflow, you must first believe you're worthy to receive it. And you are. You always were. Even before you prayed, before you wept, before you tried so hard to prove yourself. You were already chosen for this moment. The world may measure worth by effort, but heaven measures it by identity. You are loved not because of what you do, but because of who you belong to. And when you live from that truth, you stop chasing blessings. And blessings start chasing you. You'll notice it in small ways first. Someone you thought forgot about you suddenly reaches out. A bill you worried about finds a solution. A project you almost gave up on starts bearing fruit. Each one a whisper of overflow. Each one heaven's gentle reminder, see, I've got you. It's easy to miss God's favor when you expect it to come wrapped in fireworks. But sometimes it looks like endurance that doesn't run out. Sometimes it looks like strength you didn't know you had. Sometimes it's simply the ability to wake up one more morning and say, I still believe. Because faith that endures is faith that attracts favor. And soon that quiet faith will start to make noise. Doors will swing open. People will notice something different about you. They'll call it luck, timing, coincidence. But you'll know better. You'll smile because you know it's overflow. When you live in alignment with divine timing, you don't have to chase, you attract. You don't have to strive, you surrender. And when you surrender, heaven moves faster. That's the paradox of grace. You receive more when you stop reaching in fear. So rest tonight. Let go of the timelines that make you anxious. Let go of the comparisons that make you doubt your pace. You are not late. You are right on schedule. Divine schedule. Because the same God who painted the stars has already plotted your story. Every delay, every detour was written to deepen your roots so your blessing could rise taller, stronger, unshakable. And when it comes, it will come like rain after a long drought. It will come quietly at first, then all at once. You'll look around and realize that the places you thought were barren are blooming again. The dreams you buried under disappointment are sprouting new life. The peace you lost in the noise of the world is finding its way home to you. This is what happens when you rest in divine rhythm. When you stop trying to make it happen and let it unfold. Because overflow isn't achieved, it's received. And the more you rest, the more you receive. Because rest is not laziness, it's trust. When you rest, you say to God, I believe you're working even when I can't see it. And that faith draws favor like a magnet. That's why every night before sleep, when you speak those sacred words, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You're not repeating a verse. You're realigning your reality. You're reminding creation who's in charge of your story. You're telling your mind, peace be still. Provision is coming. And as you rest, heaven begins to write. Angels begin to move. Situations begin to shift. The soil of your life begins to soften, making room for new growth. So tonight, as your eyes grow heavy, let this truth sink deep into your spirit. You are not waiting for favor to find you. Favor has already found you. It's been following you quietly, waiting for the moment your faith would open the door. That door is open now, and what's about to enter will not trickle. It will pour. Peace will overflow where anxiety used to live. Opportunities will overflow where rejection once stood. Provision will overflow where scarcity once spoke. Because when God says overflow, He means more than enough. He means pressed down, shaken together, running over. And when it comes, you won't have to question if it's real. You'll know, because it will carry the fragrance of heaven. There's a moment right before dawn when the world stands perfectly still. The air feels heavy with promise. The night has given all it had, and the first light of morning begins to whisper across the horizon. That is where you are right now, spiritually, emotionally, prophetically. You are standing in that sacred pause between darkness and day, and heaven is leaning close, saying, don't move. Just trust, the light is coming. For some of you, the last season felt endless. It tested your faith in ways you never imagined. You fought battles no one saw. You cried prayers no one heard. And yet, through it all, you kept believing, even with trembling hands, and heaven noticed. Because faith isn't measured by how loud you shout, but by how quietly you keep walking when no one's watching. That's what moves God's heart. Not perfection, but persistence. Not performance, but trust. And that trust has brought you here to this moment of preparation before the overflow. Let this truth echo inside you. God is not trying to make you wait. He's trying to make you ready. Because blessings that arrive too early can feel like burdens. And favor that comes before foundation can fade too soon. But you've been built in secret, forged in silence, refined by time. Every tear watered your wisdom. Every no deepened your discernment. Every detour became a map to the real destination. You thought you were waiting for your promise, but your promise was waiting for you to mature enough to hold it. Now, the waiting is almost over. Picture this. You're standing in a wide, open field. The grass glistens with morning dew. The sun is rising, soft gold spilling over the horizon. And for the first time in a long time, you feel light again. You stretch your arms toward the sky and breathe. You can't see it yet, but in the distance, a river is flowing towards you, clear, endless, unstoppable. That river is favor. It's been flowing your way for a long time, but now the dam is breaking. The resistance that held it back is crumbling. And everything that was meant for you is about to reach you, all at once. God's favor doesn't trickle in like rain from a leaking roof. It comes in waves. Waves of opportunity, waves of peace, waves of restoration. It reaches every dry place of your life and brings it back to life. It revives dreams you buried, relationships you thought were gone, joy you forgot how to feel. When favor overflows, it doesn't ask permission, it floods. And all you can do is stand in awe and say, this must be God. But even as favor comes, it will ask something of you. Not your strength, but your stillness. Not your hustle, but your humility. Because overflow is not about what you can control. It's about what you can surrender. So as God begins to pour out blessings, stay grounded in gratitude. Don't rush to explain it. Don't try to justify why you're being blessed. Just whisper, thank you, because humility keeps the overflow flowing. It reminds heaven that you remember who the source is. There will come a time soon, and it may surprise you, when what once seemed impossible will begin to unfold naturally. A door you forgot about will open. A relationship you gave up on will find new life. A dream that used to make you anxious will suddenly feel peaceful again. And you'll realize you didn't make it happen. You just became ready for it. That's the beauty of divine timing. You don't chase, you align. You don't push, you prepare. And once you're aligned, the world rearranges itself around your faith. Remember this: before overflow can happen around you, it must happen within you. Because favor doesn't start in your circumstances, it starts in your spirit. When your heart is full of faith, your words begin to carry authority. Your presence begins to carry peace. Your energy becomes magnetic, and suddenly doors respond to your belief. People are drawn to your calm. Opportunities align with your obedience. This is what it means to walk in divine rhythm, when heaven's heartbeat becomes your own. So tonight, as you prepare to rest, take one slow, deep breath again. Inhale peace. Exhale worry. Let the day go, the questions, the disappointments, the noise. And once again, whisper the ancient promise that has guarded generations. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Let those words cradle your heart. Let them quiet the restless corners of your mind. Because that psalm is not just comfort, it's command. It declares that lack has no authority over you. It reminds creation that you are guided, protected, and provided for. And as you rest in that truth, the universe begins to respond. Imagine angels walking the corridors of your home tonight, whispering peace into every corner, setting things in order that you don't even know are out of place, preparing tomorrow's blessings while you sleep. That's the mystery of favor. You rest while heaven works. And when you wake, the proof of it will be waiting. A message you needed, a door that opens, a problem that suddenly untangles. That's how overflow moves, quietly, efficiently, divinely. And when that moment comes, when the blessings begin to appear one by one, don't be surprised if you find yourself crying, not from pain, but from recognition, because you'll realize every trial was a teacher. Every season of silence was sacred. Every unanswered prayer was answered differently, in ways that only hindsight could reveal. You'll see how it all fit together, how nothing was wasted, how everything worked for your good. And you'll whisper again through grateful tears, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." A favor will overflow in your finances, yes, but it will also overflow in your peace, your clarity, your confidence. God is not just restoring what you lost, He's renewing who you are. You will speak with new authority. You will walk with quiet strength. You will love with open hands, no longer afraid of losing, because you finally understand you can't lose what's meant for you. Every night from now on, as you prepare to rest, see it as sacred practice, a conversation between your soul and your shepherd. When you speak that psalm, you're inviting heaven to reorder your world. You're saying, "I trust you with my tomorrow." And that trust creates a vibration that the universe cannot ignore. It draws blessings like gravity draws rain. It tells everything out of alignment to move back into place. Because trust is the language of creation. And when you speak it, everything listens. Soon, people will begin to notice the change in you. They'll sense the peace before you say a word. They'll wonder why things seem to work in your favor. And you'll know it's not luck, it's alignment. It's what happens when a soul finally stops running and starts resting in divine rhythm. You'll no longer measure progress by speed, but by stillness. You'll no longer chase what others have, because you'll know what's yours cannot miss you. And in that peace, favor will find you again and again. There's a light rising over your life. You can't see the full sun yet, but the horizon is glowing. Every shadow that once haunted you is about to be replaced by radiance. Because God has declared it, your season of overflow has begun. So prepare yourself, not in fear, but in faith. Prepare your heart to hold peace without panic. Prepare your hands to receive blessings without hesitation. Prepare your spirit to shine, because what's coming will not be small. It will be pressed down, shaken together, running over. Close your eyes. Feel that? That calm that's slowly spreading through your chest. That's not just relaxation. That's restoration. Heaven is touching your heart right now, reminding you that you are safe, you are seen, you are loved. Every cell in your body is remembering peace. Every fear is dissolving in the presence of divine assurance. Because you were never meant to live in anxiety. You were meant to live in abundance. So, let go now. Let go of yesterday's weight. Let go of the questions that no longer serve you. Let go of the timelines that aren't yours to control. Lay it all down. Lay it at the feet of the one who never sleeps. And as you do, a whisper moves through your spirit once more. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." You repeat it softly, once, twice, until it becomes more than a sentence, until it becomes a song your soul remembers. And in that moment, you are home. Tomorrow will come with new light, new doors, new strength. But tonight is for peace. Let the stars keep watch. Let the shepherd guide your dreams. Let your heart rest in the rhythm of His promise, because the overflow has already begun. You don't need to chase it. You just need to stay open enough to receive it. So sleep, beloved. Sleep in peace. Sleep knowing that heaven has you surrounded. And when morning comes, you will rise renewed, restored, ready for the river of favor that is already flowing your way. Prepare yourself. God's favor is about to overflow, and it begins right here in this quiet moment of surrender. Close your eyes, breathe, rest. The Lord is your shepherd. You shall not want.